Welcome back to a most bogus journey.
Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button and visit asart.space for all of your links. We also did the first one, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We'll leave it down in the cards if you guys want to pop over and watch that first and then jump over to this. I think this was more excellent than Bill's and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, I see what you did there, Nick. And you know what? I've seen these 2 times each. I saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure just maybe 2 years ago, which is ironic because, and some of you might have heard the story before, when I was a kid, my dad took me to see Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in the theaters, which makes no sense because the movie would have made no sense to me. But I remember 2 things from this film. I remember loogies.
Yes! I totally loogied on that good dead me! Yeah!
I remember Battleship with Death.
Hit. You have sunk my battleship.
Excellent! Yeah!
But that being said, I remember loving the movie. And so when I saw Excellent Adventure, I was like, eh. But now watching them both, I think I do like Bogus Journey more. I mean, obviously, we'll get into budget and trivia. It had a bigger budget and things like that. But so out of the 2, which one do you remember liking more and which one did you like more this time around?
I don't remember which one I I don't remember which one I liked liking more. This time around, for sure, I think I preferred the Bogus Adventure. I don't know if it was because of, maybe it was the whole hell sequence and like the different stages and stuff. That was just so much fun for me.
Dude, what? I think we're in our own personal hell.
Once it got to heaven and that whole sequence, it was kind of like
a little bit weaker. Yeah.
It got weaker for sure, but I really enjoyed them dying and going to hell and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what really interested me in this film, and definitely a departure from the first one, is the lighting. The lighting is very theatrical. It's very dramatic. And obviously they get to play with that a lot more because you're not visiting historical eras like they're trying to do in the first one. They're going to hell, they're going to heaven. But the lighting in hell was really, really cool. And I loved the saturated look when they were throwing. By the way, if you haven't figured out, we're getting the spoilers from 1991. So if you're spoilers here, then you deserve it. But from the first one being successful, the budget changed a lot. And Nick, you had said the first movie had a budget of $6 million. We don't know if that's
6 to 8 million.
6 to 8 million. And the second one,
20 million.
20 million. So definitely a pretty big jump. And then the first one, you were saying, made 40 million. So huge profit. Definitely a huge incentive for them to make a second one, which they did 2 years later. But then the second one,
38.
So definitely not nearly as much profit, but still a pretty darn. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't make a third one. I don't know if...
They're making a third one, John. I'm so sure the trailer.
How many years later... I'm curious if Keanu Reeves got too big for their budget during that period of time, or if it just really took this long to line through.
Or maybe they were just like, there's not more to the story to tell.
Yeah, you know what? They definitely made this second one as if it was a conclusion to the story, especially once you get to the end credits, which we'll get to. We're not there yet. But so the 2 things I remember about this movie, I mentioned earlier, them dying, which is a really cool look, and then also just death in general. When you thought about this movie, what did you remember about it?
The whole sequence in hell. I remember them going... I really loved how they're like, that's got to do the sign of the devil, man.
How are we gonna get his attention? Sign of the devil, dude! Hey, devil dude! Down here! No!
Like get his attention.
Right there. He's like, Bill, who is that? Who do you think, bro?
And then what do they say?
This is not what I expected this place to look like at all. Yeah. We got totally lied to by our album covers, man.
Our album covers lied to us, the way the hell looked at them and stuff like that. And I just, it's just so funny how they get like dragged in to the thing and they hop on and they like talk to the devil and they drop him through a trap door. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And I also love how like when they die, the Grim Reaper's there, they give him a wedgie, and then like we don't see him at all. It's like you would think he would chase after them. Like it's so funny. By the way, the actor who plays Death or Grim is I recognized him from Die Hard. He's the bad guy from Die Hard. That's what I always knew him as, like that villain character. It was so much fun to see him, like, because he plays like a serious bad guy in Die Hard 2 and everything like that. So it was so much fun to see him with like makeup and everything and like kind of goofy, and you know, when he wears the dress in heaven and
and as much as I just like the characters of Bill and Ted, he might have been my favorite thing from this movie. He was hilarious. He was in the scenes that he was in, he was so fun. I mean, just for being a supporting character, he was really, really memorable.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
You sunk my battleship.
So I'll have to mention this. A lot of you may already know this, but there's this really, really famous Swedish film, one of my favorite movies of all time, and we're going to watch it on the show sometime. I'm going to make Nick watch it. It's an older film, and it's a Swedish film, so it's subtitled, but it's called The Seventh Seal, and this is where originally you have this knight coming back from the Crusades, and the plague is ravishing Europe and everything like that, and death comes to take him, basically, and he says, he goes, all right, I'll play you chess, and if I win, I get to live, and if I lose, then I go with you. And so that's where this whole kind of battleship thing went, and this has been parodied in all kinds of different things, but
Twister?
being a kid, that's all no, not Twister. Twister wasn't in the subs.
It was the butler with the candlestick. Whatever. No. He said Colonel Mustard or something like that.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
They do Twister. What's the other game they do? Charades? No,
Clue.
not Clue. Twister.
Clue, Twister, and then it's like the little football guys. I don't.
Oh yeah, the electronic football. Yeah, that was so much fun. And then I thought it was clever for them to like. He has to do whatever he says kind of thing. And then like, spoiler alert, but at the end, I love the magazine covers with the Grimm. Breaks up from the band, starts his own band. He goes solo. He reunites with the band. Like Death, it's just like this whole thing with Death. Like it's so cool. It's just so much.
It was a lot of fun, clever lines in it for sure. And honestly, I thought that the whole idea of them playing doubles of themselves as the robots was hilarious too. I thought that was really, really funny. So he's like, oh, like when they the faces, really hilarious.
Those cuts were good.
Yeah, when the heads were being stretched and when they're on the ground, they actually looked quite good too. And
you think of all looked good when it was in the trash can and separated too.
Yeah, well, when it was in the trash can, it was him actually talking, right?
I know, but like it just looked good, like you know the way they set it up.
Oh yeah, you mean how they did it? Yeah.
They would like cut it where they would like stretch the face a little bit, kind
perfect.
Of thing. Yeah.
The timing on all the cuts for the effects work when they were going from the the makeup or the costumes or the props or whatever was flawless. Yeah. So you can tell this was very, very carefully thought out.
I know where the extra budget came from. Probably the robotic puppet. Dude, that's expensive to have like a full robotic humanized puppet that the mouth moves and everything.
Oh, you mean for the end?
Those creatures.
Yeah.
The smartest beings in the universe. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, those guys. Oh, yeah. They probably were really. And they actually weren't wired to the ground, so that was just the top working and someone actually in the costume.
It's kind of like what they did for the Ninja Turtle movies. You know how it was like a full, but they had like robotic people doing the timing to the voices and stuff. Actually, pretty complicated stuff that film had.
Yeah, really complicated. I thought you were talking about the Bill and Ted robots at the end. And I guess
those are just people in suits.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't think that's right, Nick. But a lot of really cool effects work, which is pretty crazy. And there's parts where like they're walk through and they're ghosts and they warp and stuff. I mean, doesn't.
Oh yeah, when they were ghosts and they were like floating above. Yeah.
Doesn't maybe hold up necessarily, but it serves the wacky comedic purposes of the movie perfect. And they on purpose gave themselves some challenges. Like they could have just avoided that, but they chose to like have that effect there, which is kind of cool.
In the last one, we talked about how they were going to cast Eddie Van Halen as Rufus. I love George Carlin as Rufus. I can't see another Rufus, and I'm so bummed he's not here for the sequel and stuff.
For the third one, yeah.
Gosh, he's so good. Like he's so good. He was like the chick the whole time.
Yeah.
How else were you guys gonna get into the Battle of the Bands?
Yeah, you didn't see him very much in the movie though. He was at the beginning and then he was at the end.
We saw him more in the first one for sure.
Yeah, but very memorable character though for sure. Just
like
really,
at the end of the first one, he's like, "Can I jam with you guys?" It's like better than them. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really really good stuff. So I think for me, probably like you were saying, that the stand-up moments are the hell sequences, just fun, theatrical, and then when they're just dead, where are we? I think we're dead. But then, and so you were saying, like, I think that was all makeup. I'm like, yeah, I think it was makeup, and then they had clothes that actually were kind of bleached and really really dull as well.
And I think I noticed it more in the apartment.
Yes, yeah.
That's when I noticed. Maybe it wasn't that way in the desert. Maybe it was like a overlay, but because they had people and they probably had a fixed camera, they're like, oh, this would be easier instead of rotoscoping them out or whatever. Were they a rotoscope at that time
they were still done blue screen,
1990?
probably.
Okay.
They saw it. Yeah, they had optical compositing. Yeah,
because I know they used the green screen for all of the phone booth stuff when they would have tons of people in it.
Oh
and
yes,
it would disappear.
yeah.
By the way, we're doing a VFX breakdown on both movies for the Bill and Ted, so go to that video after this so you can be like, wow, it's amazing what they did in the 80s and the early 90s for VFX. So
especially for the budget.
Especially for the first film.
Yeah, the first
I mean, no wonder why they used gum to fix the machine. I was kidding.
Our budget is 50 cents. All right, pass it along.
Okay, so let's talk about time travel. So we used it a lot at the end of this movie, like the masters of time travel, right? Like who can do time travel the best? You had the bad guy, which is the old man from Mighty Ducks. He's the guy from Mighty Ducks. Do you remember Mighty Ducks?
I remember the movie. I don't remember.
He's like Hans, and he's like he was a mentor of Michael J. Fox. Was it Michael J. Fox in that one? No,
it was one of the
Douglas, Michael Douglas.
No, it was a Michael Douglas. It was a different guy.
Anyways, but you know what I'm talking about. It was one of those guys, right? They all look so similar to me. But Hans was like his mentor, the older man. That was the villain in this movie. That's so funny. I know. I saw that. I'm like, oh, he's the old dude from Mighty Ducks.
He was a fun character too. The casting was pretty spot on for this. Everybody was pretty fun.
Yeah. So what was I going? Oh, time travel. What did you think? Do you like the whole like? When we're just remembered to do this and set this up and set this up. Do you like that, or do you think it's a cop-out? Or do you think it works for this movie?
What I like about it is a lot of people start really digging into movies for their time travel basis. In this, they just don't address it at all. We're just time travel, and it's just fun. It's just meant to be a fun plot thing. It's not meant to be taken seriously or really explained. And I think that's why I like it.
It plays to the humor of the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in the first one, it's like, remember a trash can. Remember a trash can.
And it just sets you up for more jokes and stuff, which is really, really fun. Really, really fun stuff.
And it makes sense. I guess they're not really breaking time at all. Because if it was to happen, it means it was going to happen anyways, right? That's the whole thing about time travel. You really can't, or else you enter different strands.
Yeah, and that's when movies kind of get ripped on a lot. Is now we're in this and that doesn't make sense. But
side note, if you ever want to watch the best time travel stuff, watch Futurama. They do it right. They even created a character which is like a little, I forgot the kid's name, but he was supposed to call out what was wrong about their time travel. But it was to the point where he couldn't even call out anything wrong because they like did it right. Because like scientists and stuff write for this show. And
really?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Dude, we should do some Futurama stuff. That would be so much fun.
I've never seen a single episode of Futurama.
Oh, dude, you're going to like Futurama.
But if you guys haven't seen the Bill and Ted movies, definitely check them out. Very, very fun. Does it help that we maybe grew up somewhat during that time period? Yeah, but I think they're probably still enjoyable now if people watch them.
Especially if they're into like older rock stuff.
Yes, yeah. Which obviously still has a big following. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the first one. If you haven't seen that one, go and head over to that. We're going to have a VFX one posted as well for the first and second movie combined because some really cool special effects work in that. And also we've got a very special Bill and Ted deepfake heading to the interweb soon. Head over to AsArt.space for all the audio and video links, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.